Hey, this is Pastor Ryan. Thanks for joining us for Step One. Our passage this week is John chapter 19, verses 1 through 16. Step One is a resource to help aid in your inductive Bible study. It's a journey through the observation step. When you see the symbol, pause the video and explore the passage on your own. Spend some time answering the prompt question and observing the rest of the text. Then watch the video while comparing your notes to ours. Pilate takes Jesus and flogs him. This flogging was presumably done by the soldiers as they twisted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and arrayed him in a purple robe. The soldiers came up to him saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" striking him with their hands. Pilate moves locations, going out again and said to them, either the chief priests or the Jews, telling them what he was going to do. He was going to be bringing Jesus out for a purpose, that they may know what he had concluded. He had found no guilt in Jesus. Then we see the description of these activities. Jesus comes out, specifically noting that he's wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate then orders them to behold the man, calling Jesus at this point a man rather than a king. Next, John describes two specific groups, the chief priests and the officers, rather than the crowds in general, and their reaction. They cry out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate, having found no guilt in Jesus, tells them to take him, agreeing they could crucify him. He gave the reason for his unwillingness to crucify Jesus, saying he had found no guilt in him. The Jews then give the reasoning behind why they must crucify Jesus, saying, "We have a law, and according to that law, he ought to die, because he has made himself the Son of God." The motivation behind seeking the death penalty was primarily theological, not political. When Pilate heard this statement, the statement that Jesus had made himself the Son of God, it triggered fear in him. He entered his headquarters again and asked Jesus, "Where are you from?" Jesus didn't answer him. Seeing Jesus wasn't answering, Pilate asks two more questions. He asked, "You will not speak to me?" Pilate emphasizes his authority in this situation, telling Jesus he had authority to release him or the authority to crucify him. To this, Jesus responds that Pilate had no authority unless it had been given to him. From this fact, Jesus concludes someone else may be responsible. We don't know if this is Judas, the chief priests and officers, or the Jews in general. Whoever it was, they had committed a greater sin. From then on, Pilate sought to release him, but the Jews, hearsing collectively, cried out, "If you release this man, you are not Caesar's friend." The charge they make here ends up being political, saying everyone who makes himself a king opposes Caesar. Helping us see the sequence of Pilate's actions, John records, when Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out from where he had been, sat down on the judgment seat, and gives us the name of the location, the stone pavement, taking the time to tell us the Aramaic name, Gabbatha. John pauses the narrative to bring in some background information about the timing of these events, telling us it was the day of preparation of the Passover, specifically about the 6th hour. Pilate here says to the Jews collectively, "Behold your king." This time, when he tells them to behold Jesus, he calls him a king. The Jews cry out, "Away with him! Away with him!" asking for Pilate to crucify him. Pilate responds, "Shall I crucify your king?" again calling Jesus their king. John gives the response of the chief priests, which may have been representative of the Jewish crowds present, as they declared, "We have no king but Caesar." So Pilate delivers Jesus over to them to be crucified, which brings us to the conclusion of the trial process. So in this passage we see Pilate's flogging of Jesus, with the soldiers mocking Jesus by calling him a king, but Pilate finding no guilt in Jesus. Upon hearing the theological charge, Pilate tries to find out more about where Jesus came from, having a brief conversation about his authority, concluding with Pilate's attempts to release Jesus, but giving in to the Jewish cries for him to crucify someone he had called their king. And that's step one for John chapter 19, verses 1 through 16. We'd encourage you to continue your step one journey on your own. What observations do you see in the text? What's an important observation you think we missed in today's video? You're encouraged to use the life group notes to continue your Bible study journey this week. We're looking forward to processing our Bible study journeys together this Sunday at Louisville Evangelical Free Church. We hope to see you then.